We are back in the building. The broadcast shut down when we were in the middle of a super apple. So thank you for being on the text notification squad, because when things like this happen, you get your text letting you come back in and be able to get the notification to know where it is that we are. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody was on the last broadcast and we got bumped off. We were talking about this Kevin Samuels Wannabe, and we're about to read some more of the comments. A super apple came in and we were doing our happy dance, and then we got bumped off, but we're back. So if you want to join the text notification squad so that you can get a text whenever I'm live, especially when things like that happen and you're not sure whether or not we're back or what happened or XYZ, you don't have to depend on these platforms, because what happens on these platforms is when I go live back to back, they don't send out all notifications. So here, www.tonyatko.com/TEXT. And when you do that, oh my gosh, this is my second time typing that wrong. Let me do this again. Copy, paste. Let me take out this dot and do the M. TonyATKO.com/text. Perfect. So there it is. And we are back in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we received the super apple right before we jumped off. And that was from Mika. Wow, Mika sent $100 and said, for the garden. Well, you know what? This $100 will definitely come in handy, because I am going to be, you know what? Thank you. This has inspired me to get the wood that I need to build an upright planter. I was thinking about building one, but I wasn't really sure. And I was thinking about the cost to fill it with soil and all of that. But with this, yeah, I'm going to, how many bags? With $100, I could get 4 bags of soil. Because I do the organic soil. Oh, I'm thinking the way I could be thinking off air. All right, but thank you, Mika. I'm definitely going to invest that. And if you are on the text notification squad, are you on the text notification squad? If you are, we have a group behind the scenes. And so I'm thinking if I should use that for the upright planter, because I've really been wanting one. But I was like, okay, how do I get the wood back? Because the car we have is really small, and I'm like, how do I get the wood back? Then the dirt, but yeah, I think I should do it. I think I should do it. Yes. So thank you. So welcome back. There's a few more apples that have come in. Let me send you some hearts on that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. Amanda sends $5 and says, "This is Sparta." And it has a leg, with a crying, laughing emoji and a heart. Okay. Dawn sends $4 and says, "Sending lots of love. Thank you. Perfect. All right. So let's get back into this video. We were talking about Passionate says, "I get notifications on YouTube." Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, many creators, as some that you have seen even this past week, we cannot depend on these platforms, because these platforms are fickle. And at any moment, they can take anybody off at any time for any reason. People get hacked, people get their accounts taken, people's accounts go down, all different types of things. The people on the text notification squad know how to get in touch with me, and I know how to get in touch with them. So if anything happens, we're not beholden to these platforms. We're not. And I feel a bit of freedom, and autonomy to be able to speak and be forthright and talk about the topics that are important to you and me, because we don't have to meet any algorithmic demand. We can talk about what we want to talk about. And if they take me down, if they do whatever, right? I know how to get in touch with you, and then I'll send you all the link to the new platform. We broadcast behind the scenes and catch up and all that other stuff. So Text Notification Squad is definitely it's definitely worth its weight. It's $1.99 a month. You get to support a female content creator. You get to be a part of a community behind the scenes. I love it. So yeah. Yeah. And Lawrence is saying you need wood. Yes, people need wood to make planters. If you're offering your penis as the wood joke, just let me know. I can bring a machete and be able to chop that wood off to be able to use and throw into my garden. I don't understand. I hope this is not no nasty joke if you're being facetious. Listen, bring your wood if you want to. Bring it. Bring it. Ugh. So anyway, let's get into what we were talking about. We were reading these comments. Home Depot doesn't deliver unless you buy it online. And then the delivery is like $80. So it's like it costs more than the stuff itself. There goes the text notification just went out. All right, so let's get into this topic. So if you haven't seen the last video, go watch that last video. We were on, let me get my timer on. What's going on? My timer has run out of juice. I need to recharge it. Uh-oh. I didn't realize. Okay, well, gotta charge that up, right? Let's finish these comments. So basically, we were talking about this Kevin Samuels wannabe who's come out imitating the man's style and getting into these stupid ass conversations. But in the same way that it takes two to have intercourse, it takes two to have these conversations. Black women, why are you calling in on these platforms? Why are you giving these men talking points and giving viral footage with your voice or likeness in it, entertaining these people as if they're legitimate? So part of the reason that I'm doing this video is because when I was reading the comments, there were people who agreed with what it is that he was saying. Watch the last video. Basically, he was saying if a person plays with a loaded gun, they're responsible for being shot, right? So a woman playing with a loaded penis, she's responsible for being shot by it, or for getting pregnant. So we were reading the comments from the men who were agreeing with him, right? So the last person we saw, he said, who's responsible if they jump on a cage with a lion? Because a black man is he's a beast. He's like a lion with no decision making, no human rationale, right? He's just an animal. Here, Prince says, her body, her choice. Sound familiar? Question mark, right? Then other men are coming out laughing at him. One person says, Jimmy says, smart man. Wait, how come this is not on the screen? There we go. Jimmy comes out and he's like, smart man. Soul the Lion says, can't be serious. Women control access to their bodies. 100% a woman's decision to get pregnant. No, it is not a woman's decision to get pregnant. It's an anatomical, it's something that happens anatomically. And sex, believe it or not, sex is not what is the ultimate deciding force in whether or not a woman gets pregnant, because a woman can have intercourse maybe 28 days of the month without getting pregnant. So a woman can have intercourse every single day, not get pregnant. A woman can have sex with a woman, not get pregnant. A woman can have sex with a dildo, not get pregnant. A woman can have intercourse with a man, even unprotected, and not get pregnant unless she's ovulating and unless that man ejaculates inside of her. A man controls whether or not his semen has sperm in it. You can get a vasectomy. You don't want to have children? Get a vasectomy. It's reversible. When you want to have children, you just untie the knots, and you let the swimmers swim. But it is his fertilizer. Trust me, as a person who has been gardening and farming, right? You know what? I want to show you all a picture. I want to show you all a picture of my garden. You know, I just love this, right? I want to show you all, right? Did you know that there's male flowers and female flowers on these whatchamacallits? Look at this. Look. This right here is a female flower, right? On my squash plant, right? Take a look, right? So you see that little it's pregnant. Well, not really, not really. In order for that fruit to be viable, what needs to happen, right? I'm going to show you all what a male flower looks like. I'm going to show you all what a male flower looks like. Because you know what? In nature is the birds and the bees. Nature is the birds and the bees, right? So here, let me show you what a male flower looks like. Do you see this? Look, what do you see in this male flower? Do you see that? What do you see in the middle of that male flower burst open and in the air? Oh, it needs that bee to come and get that fertilizer. Once that female flower opens up, the bee has to take the pollen from that and get it inside the stamen and the ovaries of the female flower in order for that fruit to be able to grow. If that does not happen, the fruit does not grow. I mean, do you see my analogy? You see what I'm saying, right? You all who farm, you know this. And some people hand pollinate. They pluck off the flower and then they rub it around the female flower in order for it to be able to get pollinated. Somebody's saying seeds. No. A seed is already it has all of that it needs inside of it to become a plant. A seed is different, right? A seed is more like a baby or an embryo. It has all of the building blocks to grow up. And then once it becomes mature enough, it produces flowers to be able to spread out there, to be able to create more of it. But that's neither here nor there, right? And so Pretty is saying, I remember learning about this in school. Very interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that there were male flowers and female flowers before farming, but now I know. But this is the thing. A man is in control of whether or not he ejaculates into a woman. A woman can have intercourse without getting pregnant. She can have intercourse with a man. However, that sperm has to be present. That sperm has to ejaculate into her, and it has to ejaculate into her when she's ovulating. So it's like a woman's orgasm is not tied to her fertility. A woman's orgasm does not release an egg. It's like, let's talk about the biology of it. A woman's orgasm doesn't release an egg. 100% of fertile males' orgasm releases sperm. So every time he has intercourse, every single time he's releasing his DNA. Where is the accountability for the building blocks of his family tree being released every time he has intercourse, yet continuing to go out there and have intercourse willy-nilly? Where's the responsibility for where you sow your sperm? It's unbelievable. It's like they talk about how accountability is kryptonite for women. Women don't like accountability. But what is it that men take accountability for? Name one thing that these men in the manosphere have taken accountability for. Do they take accountability for the violence that exists in the ghettos? No. They say, oh, well, mothers raised these boys. So the violence that these men, often grown, often big adult men, are perpetuating, that's the mother's fault, right? Do they take accountability for creating these children with these and not taking care of the children with these single mothers? No, it's the mother's fault for getting pregnant. Then whose fault is it for him not staying around and raising his children? Oh, that's her fault for not choosing correctly. All right, so whose fault is it that the ghettos look the way that they do? Oh, it's the single mother's fault. Whose fault is it that the buildings are in disrepair? The buildings that these men are breaking apart, peeing on, beating up, standing out in front of the doorway, selling their narcotics. Whose fault is that? Oh, well, It's the woman's fault for having these little pookies and ray-rays. It's the white man's fault for creating these ghettos. It's everybody. It's the Chinese man's fault for bringing these fake goods. It's the Middle East fault for doing X, Y, Z. When have you ever heard a black man say, you know what, this is black men's fault. We did this. We caused this. When have you heard them say that? When? Right? So I want to know, what is it that they have ever said that they take accountability for? Right? Really? Does he even take accountability for his own body and the obesity that exists? Oh no, it's somebody's fault for this, for that, for this, for that. What is his fault? I want to know, right? So they're constantly talking about how women don't take accountability. Listen, if two people lay down, they're both responsible for what happens. They're both responsible. She's responsible for her part, and he is responsible for his part. You cannot say it is 100% her fault and her responsibility when you participated in that act of sound mind. You're grown. You have the fertilizer. If I go with my hand and I take this male flower and I start rubbing that around the female flower and then a fruit is produced, can I be like, oh, well? No, I manually took that flower and rubbed it around there. I can't be like, oh, well, the fruit, oh no, what do we do? No. And so Christelle is saying Dr. Umar said it was black men's fault. Dr. Umar is according to what it is that I have seen, is a liar. And he is going on this tour right now, speaking eloquently, yes. However, Dr. Umar, is he taking responsibility for the fact that it's been 15 years since he said he was going to build a school for which he has collected millions of dollars? I understand he's going viral in some videos with some great talking points, but let's also understand the source where this is coming from and when it is coming in 2023. So he wasn't talking all of this before his nemesis. So he went and he threatened or whatever happened behind the scenes to get his nemesis, Lennon Honor, to stop making videos about him. And then the moment that Lennon stopped making videos, so I believe he was exposing, somebody was exposing Lennon's wife and his children. They doxed him and all this other stuff. As soon as Lennon stopped making videos, now Dr. Umar is on this tour talking about Kevin Samuels and now saying all of this stuff that people have been waiting and dying for him to say. He didn't say any of this stuff. He didn't talk about Kevin Samuels and Kevin Samuels' heyday. It's like, listen, as a content creator, I know what will get hits, what will get views. Because when I make videos that are more on the neutral side, just really trying to talk about self-love and really just doing the things that you need to do on TikTok, those don't get views. A content creator knows what will get views, because when you start talking about certain things, when you start making people speaking with indignation, then all of a sudden people are upset in an uproar and then they start sending out your stuff, right? So it's like, Doc, you have to wonder, why now? Umar has been on this. Why am I calling this motherfucker Dr. Umar? Umar has been on the scene since 2007. He's been around because I remember him when I first got on YouTube. I remember he's been building that school. The boys who were 5 years old when he started this endeavor of taking people's money, they're 20 now. It's been 15 years. They can't benefit from this school. He could have rented out a space inside of a building, inside of another school, and created a school and taught somebody. He has taught no one. He has taught no one, even to this day. No one. Even if he wanted to, right, do Saturday classes in a rec center. He could have done Saturday classes. He has done nothing. He's collected money and has taught no one. So yeah, I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon because now all of a sudden he's saying what women want to hear him say. No, and that's part of our problem as women. That's part of our problem as women. We hold off until a man says it. Women have been saying this stuff for so long, but we hold off until a man says our talking points. And they make so much money. I've exposed a few of them on this channel alone. And people don't want to hear it. They don't want to, their beloved male figures, they don't want to hear them besmirched by their own freaking actions. Come on. We got a man running around now on TikTok becoming famous, getting thousands upon thousands of dollars from desperate black women, desperate to hear. So it's like when I do my little apples and this, that, and the other, and people complaining about $2 here and there, it's like, come on, these men out here making thousands upon thousands of dollars from black women, desperate to have somebody coddle them, desperate to hear the talking points that other women are saying, but because a man is saying it has more weight and more gravity to you. But when there's no benefit to them saying it, they keep their damn mouth shut. If there's no money in it, they're not talking about it. If there's no fame and forwards in it, they don't speak on it. Indian is saying, my son done finished college waiting on Umar. Exactly. 15 years. 15. This is what I'm saying. These little boys are not little anymore. He has taught no one. Okay, well, you know what? Okay, well, let's look at this. Where are his classes? He can even do them on Zoom right now. If he wanted to, he could create a homeschool curriculum. Where's the homeschooling curriculum? He's a fraud. Where is the homeschool curriculum? Where is any of that? Bands will make him dance. He just dances around for bands. Wherever there's money, he goes. And now the money is in speaking these talking points and going viral, now combating men. Well, listen, it needs to be said. Yes, it needs to be said. But let's keep our eyes about us and what is actually really truly going on. Let's do that. Let's not get caught up in the shine and the glitz and the glamour of it. Because at the end of the day, he is also part of the problem. So yes, take from him what we must and what we need to. Take from him. Take his talking points, yes. Share them, make them, okay, yes, whatever, right? But keep in the back of your mind where this is coming from. Who's saying it? I have a video, somebody sent me a video of Umar talking about how these little 12-year-old girls, how these 12-year-old girls are out here acting like hoes and they got rotten cookies and all this other stuff. So he'll say that. He'll talk about how these little boys, how you can capital K word these little boys, right? He's not what it is that you all think he is. Virgo, I've never seen that acronym before, but how I know exactly what IDFWH means. Exactly. Exactly. We got a few more comments to read. What you may be referring to is the female voices sometimes not heard because of the tone or whatever. I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to somebody else. People don't hear female voices because they don't value them. They don't value what a woman has to say. As long as a man says it, it has more weight. If you want to know what my thoughts are on a particular person, search for my name and that person and you will see. I don't know if this person, Street Meat, has done anything new, but I've already spoken on Street Meat over here. Anyway, let's read some more of these comments and then we're going to take an apple break in a moment. We're going to check some more of these apples. A few more have come in. So, here. So, let's see. And then, so this person says, Can't be serious. Women control access to their body 100%. A woman's decision to get pregnant and 100% their decision to stay pregnant and give birth. Men are just a tool in the situation, a tool, inanimate. Now, after the child is born, then we have responsibilities. You have responsibilities for fertilizing. You have responsibility while the fetus is growing. You have responsibility all throughout it, not just once a human being comes into this world. And please do remember what it is that they're saying. You have control over whether or not you stay pregnant. And a lot of women are opting out. Birth rates are down all over the world, and they're just not getting it. They're not getting it. Dominus says, do you believe abortion is my body, my choice, or is the man that you want to hold accountable going to have a say on whether or not you get an abortion, right? So now this is a false argument. A person is responsible for whether or not they inseminate. Once it's fertilized, life has already started the process of becoming life. The cells have started to separate and all of that other stuff. Emiliano says, do you, homie, in the video make a perfect couple? Both of your analogies don't make sense. Oh, God. A dildo is not a penis. Changing the question. It's like they don't get it. They're slow. Did you just try to slide that whole question another way? Lord, these black women are something else. When will you all stop living in a fantasy land? And someone else says, facts. And everybody don't die from being shot, but the shot can kill you. Girls can't win. She's trying to come up with a good counter argument and got shut down by several guys with a better argument. How are these arguments better? This is ridiculous. Then Ketsi, who's most likely paying for their little blue check, is saying, I think you've just proved his analogy right by bringing up the dildo. This is what I'm saying. Opt out, ladies. Opt out. Just opt out of all of this effery. Alchemist says, I take it you haven't heard the rumors of what a penis can do. Ha 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 ha. A penis is connected to a human being. This is what I'm saying. They're showing you who they are with their stupid ass analogies, with their constantly calling themselves inanimate objects. It's ridiculous. Ron is saying, nah, women can stop pregnancies real easy. They got all kinds of birth control out here. Why women still getting pregnant by men who they know don't want to have baby by them, and women want these men to be accountable to them? Make it make sense. Women's logic is not the same in the solar system. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Then somebody say, huh? You know what? A raw penis. You know what? So they say, you know what? A raw penis that busts instead can do, can spell with a K, can do if you ain't make him strap up. You know what could with a K happen. So fuck yeah, it's on y'all if y'all allow a motherfucker get y'all knocked up. But again, we speaking to people that don't use logic at all. That's his comment. It's just, the screen is not even, the screen is just going wherever it wants to go. Here it is right here, so you can see it. And then Antoine says, and they say women are smarter than men. Ha 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 ha. This is what I'm saying. There's more comments. Let's take a quick break. This is exactly, somebody's talking about make him put on a condom. Men slide off condoms every day. Men control whether or not their penis has a condom on it. He knows whether or not the condom is on his penis. Sometimes a woman doesn't even know whether a condom is on or still on and all this other stuff. This is what I'm saying. Opt out. Oh my goodness. I don't understand why this comment is triggering people so. Let's jump into these apples. All right. Zahara sends $5 and says, more garden photos. Oh, you can see some of my garden photos on Instagram. I put some up the other day. Oh, I got a mosquito bite. I put some up the other day, so you can take a look at those. I'm going to be posting some more pictures soon. Onika sends $5 and says, truth teller. Kristen Kemp sends 222 and says, for love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, let's get back to these comments. Do send in your apples. I'm going to be reading them again here. Let us. All right. So here. This Botanics Omega says, hear me out. It's just a suggestion, but you don't absolutely have to sleep with every or any man you don't think would make a good father or husband. You do, however, have the responsibility of picking a good one in the first place. If you do want kids, it's literally your first task as a mother to not pick a piece of trash father, or rather to wait for the right one. If you fail at that, your kids suffer most. And yes, it's still on you, unfortunately. It's your life to make good or poor decisions. Hashtag pick better men. Now, see, listen, this is a nuanced conversation, because the picking happens when the men pick women who don't know how to pick men. They pick vulnerable, at-risk young women who don't know better. If she knew better, she would do better. This is why some women do not have children and they don't have bums babies. There have been plenty of bums who have tried to impregnate any number of us. And first of all, how does a girl know who is going to make a good father if she doesn't have one in the first place? So it's cyclical, right? So they want to pick girls whose brains have not fully developed and then come around talking about you should have chose better. She was 20. What does she know about choosing better? Let me tell you, when I was 13 years old, my idea of what I was looking for in a guy was someone who, I remember my earliest criteria of what I wanted in a guy. I must have been about 9 or 10, right? And I wanted a guy who wore cream white sweaters. I remember I was at a birthday party. I was at a birthday party and I saw this guy and he was there and he had on a cream white sweater. I was about 10 years old and I was like, wow, guys with cream white sweaters they're cute. There's just something about the cream white sweater that just it just looks so soft and cozy. It was like a cable knit sweater. Meanwhile, this boy didn't buy his damn sweater. His mother bought his sweater. But me as a little girl, I saw that cream white sweater and I was like, oh my goodness, cream white sweaters. When I was 13, what I thought was a good guy, what made a guy, what I was looking for in a guy was somebody who had a bubble goose. I'm telling you, I was 13 years old and I'm in New York. So, it's cold. And I remember it was winter time and they, this guy who came over with like my a family member was dating somebody and somebody who was related to her. I was around this guy and he had this bubble goose. And I was like, oh, wow, bubble gooses are where it's at. That's just, I'm 13, right? When I was 16, what was I interested in when I was 16? When I was 16, I remember that's when I was developed physically, and so I wanted to wear like these tight clothes and stuff like that. When I was 16, I liked this guy who may have possibly, he said he had access to a car, but he really didn't. He said he was 2 years older than me, but when my parents saw him, they were like, that man is not 18. They forbid me from seeing him. And I was like, okay, well, if my parents are against this, I was like, they know more than I do. I've trusted them this far. So when they forbade me from seeing him, I was like, no, this is done. But, right? So when I was 16, I was starting to understand that I kind of wanted a guy who, but at this time, education and none of that was really important, but I wanted somebody who had the potential to get out of the hood, right? The idea had started to begin around 16. I wanted someone who had the potential of getting out of the hood, right? When I was 17, right? Oh my goodness. There was this guy, oh my God, high school. His name was Smooth, right? He was so cute. He had dimples and his hair used to always be cut so fresh, right? So then 17, I kind of wanted somebody who had a fresh cut and somebody who wouldn't doesn't talk junk about girls, right? Um 18, what did I want when I was 18? 18, I started, 18, I'd already now had gone off to college, right? I remember when I was 17, I wanted a boy who was in the church. You know what? I want to see some of your comments. Tell me, as the ages went on, what is it that you were looking for, right? When I was 17, I wanted a boy who was in the church until I found out that these church boys are terrible, 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 right? So 17, I wanted somebody who was in the church. 18, I really didn't know what to look for, but my criteria, my categories was like, by 18, I was in college and I didn't know what to look for really. but I wanted somebody who was also in college, right? I wanted somebody from Morehouse, right? Because I thought that they were. I wanted somebody who wasn't in a fraternity, right? Because that was not my thing. The way these Q dogs were acting on campus, I didn't want a person in a fraternity, right? I really didn't know what to look for, so I was just seeing what was out there, right? And so 19 is when I got my first boyfriend, and he was so kind, he was so sweet, and he set the standard. He set the standard for me. Right before him, I was entangled with this guy who was trying to have my virginity, and I was like, it didn't feel right. There was something about it, but this man, he was so intelligent that I was like, yeah, I like that. He was so intelligent. I was like, yeah, I like intelligent men. Like he was in this NASA program and everything, right? He was so intelligent. And I was like, yeah. But he was also a little mean and I didn't like that. So, and then also he was an upperclassman and he had a bunch of girls that liked him. I didn't like that either. So I was like, yeah, I don't want that. I want somebody that I want, that wants me, but he's not out there showcasing for all of these women. I wanted a diamond in the rough. And in my first boyfriend, he was exactly that. He was a diamond in the rough. He was so sweet and so nice, and he set the standard. And I really, really, really cared for him. He loved me, and we grew to love one another, and it was a beautiful relationship. And so that set the standard for me. But if I had not been in that relationship, I would have to continue to date to see what it is that I like, what it is that I want. So by the time I turned, so he and I, we stayed together for years. And then there was another person who had liked me, and he had all of this money, much older than me, much older. And that let me know that I really liked a certain level of being spoiled, right? And I liked that. My mother died, and then I was just out here without knowing what to do. What to do. A lot of older men were trying to pluck me off the tree when I was young, but I didn't know what the fuck I was looking for. When I was 22, the only thing I knew is that I liked a man who had money, was stable, was on a path, right? Wasn't mean, treated me nice, right? Then I thought that I wanted a man who was also a virgin or had very little sexual partners. Then as I grew and grew and grew, when I was 27, I met a man. Oh my gosh. When I was 27, I met a man who I was like, okay, well, African men are where it's at, right? But then it turned into be something strange. Then I met another guy who he was a functioning alcoholic and his penis didn't work. It was the most bizarre thing. He was a young man, his penis did not work. He drank. I remember I was in his house and it was a cup. You know those large glasses? There was a glass on the counter with what I thought was water, right? And when I walked, I smelled this fermented kind of scent when I walked by it. And I put my nose to the glass. It was straight up fucking vodka. This man was drinking big glasses of vodka. And I was like, oh, wow, right? And I didn't even put two and two together. But it's like, then from 20, and I was 27 at that time, then 27 to 30, I realized when I was in my 20s that I couldn't even tell men that I was in my 20s. I had to lie to them and tell them I was in my 30s because of how they would salivate and want to. It's like when they would find out I was in my 20s, they would be like, yeah. It was like they would start chomping at the bit. So I had to start lying and saying I was older just to be able to get some respect from them, for them to act a little normal. So it was like, so then now, so 27 to 30, I realized that I need a man who's ambitious. Because that guy whose penis didn't work, a lot of things didn't work in that relationship. A lot of things were floppy. His ambition was floppy. Then when I was 31, I realized that when I was 31, what was 31, right? Oh my goodness. Shoot, I'm going through the ages now. I realized around in my early 30s, I realized that I wanted a man who was spiritual. I was like, yeah, spiritual is where it's at. I need a man with a deeper connection and understanding of the oneness and universal source energy. That's that stuff that I was on in my early 30s, right? And then I was like, ugh. So from early 30s till now, I've just really been working off of that spiritual, right? I have now recently discovered, right? This is a new standard of mine. This is a new standard, and I'm learning as we go, right? Any motherfucker who comes to me talking about submission, me pussy dry hopper, my pussy, I can't do it. You come to me talking about submission and it is a wrap. That is my new standard now that I have created. I start hearing you talk some manospheric talking points. Done with it. I can't do it. You start talking about 20% of men are impregnating 80% of women. And I know that you are not intelligent because because you're repeating without looking at the data yourself. This is a new standard of mine. It's like even as I date now, right? And I've gotten to the point that I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm opting out. I am really happy and satisfied with my garden. I don't need a pet. I don't have to take care of no cat, no dog. I don't have to be a cat lady or a dog lady. I am happy with my garden. I am happy going out and making my compost and putting seeds in the ground and watching them grow and tending to them. I am happy with my garden. I am opting out of this bullshit. I was thinking about this last night. They have this little thing of this boy that's like bullshit or bullshit, right? And I'm like, this is how I feel. This is how I feel. I'm like, this is some bullshit. I have learned along the way. I'm going to give you all some of my wisdom that I have learned from dating. But these are the things that dating brings you. It's like you have to exchange in this exchange with other people in order to see and navigate in these situations. But they want to pluck you ripe from the tree when you have no knowledge of what it is to look for. How are you going to tell a woman? How are you telling her how does a woman know whether or not a man is going to stick around? It's like you get into your 30s and you have an idea a little bit better than you did in your 20s, but you still, how do you know unless he has already demonstrated this? How do you know? Because these men will be like, give me a chance. I know that if a person has no background, no habit and pattern, right? That how you do anything is how you do everything. Like that man who was floppy, like I said, lots of areas in his life were floppy. I thought that it didn't matter. I thought, okay, his ambition doesn't matter. If I gotta do most of the work in the relationship, if I approach a man, I used to think that didn't matter. I need a man to show up. The things that I have learned, I'm going to tell you what I have learned is important, right? It is important for that man to have an internal wisdom, an internal knowledge that your relationship is one that was one that he feels in his intuition, like he consults some sort of spiritual source, whether it's he meditates on it or he consults whatever God it is that he prays to, that he consults this God, this higher self, this universe, about whether or not this relationship with you is the right relationship to go into. I have learned in my wisdom that it is important for a man to have a spiritual, not a religious, because religion has issues in and of itself, but a spiritual foundation about understanding how he is related to higher source, him. I have learned that, right? And so this is what I've learned. I've also learned that it is important for a man to be attracted to you and show up, but not that attraction that spurs that lust which burns out, right? But really, like when I say attracted to you, I mean that he is drawn to you, that he wants to converse and communicate with you, that he wants to be with you, that he wants to see you, but not that flash in the pan stuff that happens early in the relationship where he's just trying to get that nut. Not that, but a sincere humbling of himself in this relationship. I have learned that it is important for a man to have the humility of being in the relationship, that he wants to be in that relationship enough for the reasons that he wants to be in it, that he is willing to humble himself long term, like for the long game, not the short game humility where, oh, I'm going to do what it is that she says until I get some pussy, then I'm a ghost this bitch. Not that, right? Not that. But really, 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 really opening himself. I feel like I should do a whole video on this, what it is that I have learned about as a woman who has lived and who has dated in this current climate. If you want to hear more about that, let me know, because I might have to, I don't know how I can package this up for you all so that the right people can get it. I should probably write a book, like a really, really, really good book. You know what? I should probably write a book and just drop everything that I know so that young ladies who can come behind me will know what to look for. Listen, talk to me in the comments. Tell me if you want to hear more about that. I didn't mean to go on that tangent, right? Let us take a quick break, and then we're going to read the apples after that. My goodness, here. So we are back. We are back. Let us read these. Let us read these apples real quick. All right. Christy sends $3. Bridget sends $1.53 and says for caring about women. Tiffany Warren says opting out. I am no longer interested. I feel you. I feel you. You know what? I might write a book called You Should Have Chose Better. The things I learned about weeding through men. Maybe I'll have to, maybe, because it's too much for a video. It's too much for a video, and it's meant for specific audiences. Also, I believe that people should be able to, I'll change my train of thought. Lysia or Lysia sends $10 and says, you dropping gems, write the book. Absolutely. You know what? I probably should write that book because this is something that I feel passionately about, and it's something that I could probably just sit down and just really just get it done. Silverest sends $1.11 and says, please talk about what you've learned while dating. Yeah, listen. Shawana sends 222 and says, for support, sis, love and write the book, please. Okay, so people want the book. I appreciate that. Okay, it looks like Aronica sends a first-time apple. Thank you. And Cinnamon Wolf sends $50 and says, no tangent, that good talk. Really? I kind of felt like it was a tangent from the video that we were actually watching and talking about because they're like choose better, but how do you know what better is and from what? And the thing is, I come from a two-parent household. And you know what? There's things that I learned coming from a two-parent household that affected how I navigate out there. It's like people come to my videos and they hear me and they think that I'm hard on men because I didn't have a father. No, I'm hard on men because I did. Because I do. Because I do. Because I do. And men, they I don't know, something is wrong with some of these dudes. But nonetheless, now it's gotten so late, the sun is up, and so I need to figure out what I'm going to be doing about the stuff I gotta get because I want to build a trellis today. So yeah, and I gotta get more soil because my potatoes need more soil. My potatoes are thriving, so I'm happy about that. Um, mm, mm, mm. TNH says decenter men, they should not be our focus any longer. It's more important things to do. Yeah, yeah, it's true. So that's my dilemma because there's self-love lessons that we need to talk about. Um, let's see. Let's get back to that video that we were looking at real quick with the comments that were on there, right? Miss Elenia says, I agree with you. Some of these people lack simple reasoning skills, but that's a woman who's saying that. Beneath says, it makes no sense, but it's funny as F. Um, then there are men agreeing with the other men talking about damn right, play toy, not a gun, right? And then here, Ear What says, this is a long ass comment. He says, let's look at the inanimate object for a moment. A man cannot have S with a woman without her consent. There are many boxes that must be checked before a woman would make herself available to a man. two people have intercourse. He makes himself available to her, and she makes herself available to him. It's like the argument is already starting from a woman having the only say so. It's like, this is ridiculous. I think this is going to be the last comment that I read, and then I go forward from here. The only box that needs to be checked for a man minimally is whether there is a vagina available and whether it works. So he's letting you know right there. Whether there's a vagina available and whether it works, that sounds sexually immoral. That sounds like a beast. That sounds like you were right to be enslaved by men who what? Who were able to use their minds better than a beast, and why you were turned into a beast of the field and a buck for the plantation. You are showing how it is that you think about yourself. All that needs is for there to be a vagina. That's it. You think that you're the only men on earth? You think that people cannot see and compare you to men of other cultures? It takes more than just a vagina. My God, this is part of the reason that there's so many fatherless children out there, because all it took was a vagina for you to go lay your sperm inside of it. God, this stuff is making my IQ go down. I want to maintain my little part. Let me get my part back. Okay, there we go. I think that's cute. What do you think of my little part? My hair looking like cherry blossom. All right, so here. For a woman, sex happens on the inside of her. For a man, it's an outside experience, akin to using a hand or a finger. If your penis and the DNA of your forefathers means as little to you as a hand or a finger, that shows a lot about you and how you value yourself, right? As far as a woman, as far as more dangerous and involved experience for a woman and such, a penis is a far closer to an inanimate object to a man than the experience of a vagina being penetrated to a woman. So this lets you know how men feel about their bodies. This is part of the reason that I'm like, find a man with a strong spiritual center. I'm not talking about religious. I'm talking about spirituality and understanding that he is a spirit having a human experience. And as such, he is controlling and navigating his life path and the life path of any human being that he interacts with and creates, right? Sex, when offered to a man, will be accepted 99.99% of the time. The soul tie is not the same, and the pair bonding is non-existent for a man. Look, they're telling you. They're telling you is non-existent for a man. Let's just, the soul tie is not the same. So basically, it's not even a soul tie, it's oxytocin. It's oxytocin. And also, the more time that I spend interacting with men, the more I truly believe that they are a broken X chromosome. They're a broken X chromosome. This is why they have the Y. It's a broken X. And they are defunct in many ways. And this is one of the ways that they're defunct. Like their rationale, their logic, their reasoning, their decision making, and the ways that they govern themselves, the fact that they produce less oxytocin, the fact that they can have intercourse like beasts. This is why the gay community is in shambles. The gay community, the gay male community is in shambles because it's run by men. And men running rampant in the gay community, having sex willy-nilly hitherunto. So men in the gay community don't even care about their anuses. They'll give up their anus to anybody. Listen, in relative understanding, it is an inanimate object that clearly the consequences is not as severe. So a man thinks of his penis as an inanimate object. A man thinks of his sperm and his forefathers' DNA as what? Inanimate as well. A one night stand for a woman is much more severe. How many men have you had S with where you didn't even know their name. And so this is what I'm saying. Men are showing you that they are beneath you, that their reasoning, logic, and decision making is beneath yours, that they are, and they consider their bodies to be inanimate, even though these parts of their bodies are animated and continue the building blocks of their DNA. They're letting you know. They're letting you know. I don't want to read any more of these comments, but oh God, what is this? This comment takes up the whole screen. Let's get a sense for what this person is saying. True, but women still have the final and determining say. She should think, what happens if I get pregnant? La, 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 la. Let me refresh and see if anybody has responded to my comment, because, you know, I left a comment on there. So let's see if anyone has
Miss Shine, let me ask you a
responded.
question.
No one has responded
If I
to
do
my
this right
comment.
now on
So
live,
there we have that.
if I start playing with a gun and it goes off and it hits me in the head, who is responsible for my
All
death?
right. So listen, they are showing you
It's
their
the
lack
parent that
of
didn't put a
human
gun. Like I
I
got
said
several
decency.
guns
me,
around
ma'am. I
here.
said me.
They're showing you their lack of
Oh,
Right
if you
now,
regarding
if
of
I do
themselves
it
course,
as
right now,
human.
there go
and I
your
start
one-sided
playing with a
question.
gun,
Of course, it would be
Oh,
you.
what is
Of
this?
course.
This thing is talking in the background. Sorry about that. Ugh. All right. Listen, check the apples one last time, and then I'm going to, there are no new apples that have come in, so let me go ahead and get out of there. Get out of here. I am, my stomach is empty. I have to eat before I head out to these stores and start lifting all these heavy bags. But listen, let's see I want to see your self-love lessons. So start thinking about them, because I'm going to ask you to post in a moment, right? I am so glad that I was never bred by one of these undeserving men. I'm glad that I was never bred. It's unfortunate that my DNA will die with me, and I won't procreate, most likely, in this lifetime. That's unfortunate, but I'm glad that I'm not tethered to any man that was beneath me and I knew was beneath me. I'm happy about that. I'm happy that I opted out of being a baby mama, even though, you know, I'm happy that I opted out. I'm happy I opted out. I'm happy that there's no man out there that can say he bred me. I'm happy. I'm happy. So, listen. All right. So, listen. I all right. So listen, I believe in all the knockouts go for fellow knockouts. Listen, when we were doing the matchmaking show, how many men that were high vibrating were we able to bring onto the show? You know, it's like these other shows that are doing these live matchmaking, they're doing it for the clicks and the views that come from the viral moments of these people who are unfit. There's no pre-qualification beforehand, and there's no real true attempt at making families work. It's just another viral moment, and that's the sad reality of it. Um, Listen, so I want to see what your self-love lessons are. Come. I got to think what my self-love lesson is from. So Miss Dara says she's 36 this month and getting a procedure soon. I feel you. Can you say no to his advances without the threat of violence or aggression? Hair, fire, skin popping, go Tonya. Yeah, I've been out here in the sun getting nice and tan. Look at this profile view. Oh my goodness. And that smile, look at you, girl. Hey. All right, let's see. SLL. I will continue to watch or support. I will continue not to watch or support toxic men's channels. I know that's right. SLL, safeguard your womb and your peace. When people show you who they are, stop making excuses and believe them. The stress and drama of doing it alone is not worth it. Yeah, listen, I feel you on that. Come on, let's see these self-love lessons. Yeah, type your self-love lesson. What did you learn? I want to hear I statements from the I point of view. So let's hear that. I will vet and test all the men that I'm interested in. Yes. I will prioritize men with spiritual connections and self-esteem. Yes. 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 Let's see SLL. Let's see these self-love lessons. Stay in touch with your star player / you is all I can say. Let's see these self-love lessons from the I standpoint. I want to see these I statements. When they compare themselves to inanimate objects or something that is incapable, believe them, opt out. I will not allow men to procreate, shame me. Men determine if an egg is fertilized. I love myself enough to let men know that by saying it with my chest. Yes. I'm making it a priority to reunite with my authentic self. Yes. Yes. I am okay with opting out. Yeah. Many women have opted out. I will do much better vetting in the future. Yes, I feel you. I feel you. I will give these men my butt to kiss. Is that your self-love lesson? What is it? Where's the self-love? I want to hear the self-love. I want to hear the self-love. I will be okay without them. Okay. I want to see some I statements. I don't ever pay any of these men attention or have any access to me. Okay. I will entertain men who compare themselves. I will not entertain men who compare themselves to animals. You know, I don't want to, I want to see what the self-love lesson is, but when you do a negative statement like I will not, let's talk about what we will do, right? Or what we are doing. Let's talk about the self-love from the affirmation standpoint instead of the negative. So let us turn that around into I don't watch men who are negative versus I watch men who are XYZ. So rather than talking about that, let's get these self-love lessons from the affirmative standpoint. I am learning daily how to choose. I love me enough not to settle. I learned that these men are dangerous. I will continue to do what's best for me mentally. I will learn to enjoy me and not fall for stupid lines like I love you. Oh my goodness. Let's change these around until not what we won't do, but what we will do. I like seeing those. Good job. Good job. I too choose to. Let's take the knots out. If you're getting ready to type not, change that into the affirmative version of that sentence. I want to see that. I understand me and participate. Come on, I want to see no. If you're thinking about not or no, don't put that in your statement. Use statements that are from the affirmative. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Okay, that's what I want to see. All right, so what is my self-love lesson? I type SLL so I know that you're typing a self-love lesson. I will set higher standards for myself. I'm continuing to focus on my purpose. Yes, I love this. I love this. My self-love book is going to be back in stock on Amazon soon. I'm working on getting the stock replenished. Amazon had to do an address verification. I will remain celibate as I have been for 15 years because I love myself and put myself first. Oh, wow. Yeah, I feel you. 15 years celibate. I don't even know what to say. I will get to know more of myself and discover what I am and can do for myself. Okay. I want women to connect with each other. I want to see self-love lessons from I will continue to use my discernment to live a peaceful and fulfilled life. Yes, 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 yes. You know, to me, celibacy is not the goal to me. Healthy relationships is the goal. If you're celibate, I respect that. However, I want us to make sure that the celibacy is a function of self-love, not fear, not, self-sabotage, those sorts of things. So I've been celibate. There are a lot of women are. I am on my path and spreading love. Everything I want, I will accomplish. Well, if you're going to do the affirmation, then you have to state it from a present standpoint. A present, like if we're going to do the self-love lessons as affirmations, then we have to state it in the present, because when your affirmation has a future date on it, it always remains future, like that carrot. It just continues to stay future. So, you know what? That's what we'll probably do going forward. We'll start stating the self love lessons in the present tense. So, I'm learning as we go along. I've learned that we have to do these I statements, and now I'm learning that we have to take the not and no out of it, and now I'm learning that we have to do it in the present standpoint. I believe what people tell me and what they say about themselves, right? Perfect, perfect. Let me get out of here because now the sun is high in the sky, and I'm gonna have to eat some breakfast before I head out to the big box store. And I need to. You know what? I think I'm going. Should I? I'm trying to figure out if I should buy my soil at a local nursery or whether or not I should go to the big box store. The big box store is closer, but the local nursery. You know what? Let me call them. Um, so lady, I want you to take the will out. Say, I respect my body. Self-love lesson, I respect my body, right? Yes, say I am instead of I will. So yeah, so absolutely. So let me tell you all what my self-love lesson is from today's video, right? My self-love lesson from today's video is about trusting the process, right? My self love lesson from today's video is about trusting the process. Today, on a whim, because I wouldn't typically make this video, right? I wouldn't typically make this video. Typically, when I see something that troubles me, I save it in a folder and I say I'm going to come back to it. I trusted the process today and I spoke about something from the heart that was on my mind today, right? And my self love lesson is about knowing that I am protected, I am guided, I am being guided. And to listen to that inner voice that says, stop, even though I like getting out in the garden before the sun comes up high. I like, pulling up the weeds and just looking at the plants and how they're doing and, taking care of them. I like doing that before the sun comes up. I like mixing up my compost before the sun comes up. But something told me, listen, do this right now. I took about 2 hours out of my life to create this video this morning, right? Thank you to all of the people who sponsored the video by sending apples through and supporting me and letting me know, right? And so you see this person who's on the screen right there on the apples right here says book, 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 right? I trusted the process in making this video. I stopped my direction because you all see I got on my gardening pants and all of that. These are the pants I go out in the garden with. I don't even have a belt. I got my clothesline wrapped around. Listen, around here nothing goes to waste, right? So my pants is getting a hole in it. So I trusted the process and I made this video. And while I was making this video, I was waxing poetic about what it is that I learned. I was just really in that moment. And that may be the idea for a book. That may be the idea for a book. I've been wanting to write a book, like a long form book for some time, but that may be the idea for the book right there that I've been wanting to write for years. And it came out from just trusting the process, following my intuition, and just continuing to go forward, right? So take the word will out, and I continue to protect my womb and health by remaining celibate. Take the will out. Let's talk about present. Let's do present statements. So listen, on that note, this is that the self-love lesson that I learned is about following my intuition, following my inner guidance, and listening to that inside voice that you never know where it may lead. This video may have led to a book. I have to meditate on it, think about it in my spirit, talk to the text notification squad, see if there is truly a need for a book of that nature. And if there is a need, going and getting that book printed. So see, there are people who are saying, yes, please do a book. I mean, would you all want that book? Would you, let's do a survey. Let's do a survey. Let's do the survey. If you want that book, put up the book you should have chose better. Lessons I learned from dating men or something like that. I have to come up with a title, but basically you should have chose better, and just letting you all know what it is that I learned from men while dating, right? So that people can learn from my experience. If you want that book, put up a 1. If you want a different book, put up a 2 and what that book might be, right? Because you all know me and what it is that I talk about. You could put up a 2. If you don't want those books, put up a 0. Let's see. 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 Come on. 1, if you want that book. 2, if you think another book would be better, but you have to tell me what type of book you think it should be, right? All right, so I see some 1s are coming in. 1. Oh, really? You all want that book? Really? So for Southern, who is saying that statement, I'm going to marry a man, say your husband is. Say your husband is. Let's speak in present tense. So yeah, we can do audiobook as well, right? So the person who has a 2, if you're putting up a 2, you have to tell me what type of book you think would be better. Do you all want that book? You know what? I'm almost in tears because I'm like, wow, really? I had no idea. How can we support you in getting it started? If you're on the text notification squad, let's talk behind the scenes, because I want to know what would be the best format for the book. Like, should the format be the way I started in this video? What it is that I was looking for a man when I was 9, 13, 16, 17, and just talking about these things that I learned? Or should it be in anecdote form, where instead of doing it by the ages, do it by just anecdotes? So those are some things that I would need. So what we should be looking for in men, well, you know, everybody's going to be different. So everybody has to look for what's going to be a compliment for their lives. But thank you. I like that suggestion. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So somebody's coming in late and missed which book. 1 and 2, recognizing the green flags of worthy men. Interesting. Okay. Oh, you all like doing it by the ages? Really? Okay. Okay. You know what? If we're going to do it by the ages, we're going to have to go all the way back to when light skin was in. And we really didn't know what to look for. Oh, the ages would be more interesting. And you can give brief scenarios during those ages. And the self-love. Ooh. All right. Okay. Ah, interesting. I don't think that the young girls would be able to relate because when I was 20, it was I was 20 in what, the 2000s. So it's a whole different ball game now in the 2020s. Men and boys are different now. They're different now. All right. Go through the stages and ages. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, I appreciate that. All right. Listen, let me get going. I appreciate you all coming out. You know what? Listen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up when I go live. Thank you for being here in this moment right now with me. Thank you for signing up for the text notification squad so that when I send out it, so when I do go live and the text goes out, that you know that you so believe in wanting to be here for my videos, that you don't leave it to chance with these platforms sending out notifications when they feel like it. But thank you for so wanting my videos and so wanting to show up and be there that you didn't take the chance of whether or not you would miss the notification and that you signed up for the text notification squad. Thank you for that. Thank you for when I do go live, valuing my opinion and my point of view and the space that I've created here, for valuing it enough that you show up and that you come back, because there's a lot of people creating content out there, a lot of people, and people's voices can get drowned out. I don't do short form content really well. I'm trying, but I don't do short form content really well. Thank you for being in this moment in time with me for the hour that we've been on here, because I know what it's like to jump onto a person's live and jump right back off. If you've been here since the beginning of this live, if you were here from the first video, put up the number 3. If you were here from the beginning of this live, put up a 4. If you were here just kind of coming in and out, put up a 5. Let me see who's in the building. Let me see who's in the building. Let me see who's in the building. Let me see. And then we shall go from there. Let's see who is here. Let's see. Let's see. So 3 if you were on the last video, 4 if you were in from the beginning of this video, and 5 if you are just coming in and out. So we got some 3s, some 4s. We got some 5s who are coming in and out. Okay. Well, listen, thank you for being here. Make sure that you subscribe so that you know how to find my channel again. Because if you're just here, you may not know how to find my channel. Make sure that you go and you join the text notification squad, which is www.tonyatko.com/TEXT. Join the text notification squad. I just put the link in there. All right. We got somebody. Miss Dara, you're on the text notification squad and you late. But thank you for being on the text notification squad. Thank you. All right. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much. And thank you for the young lady who treated me to the stuff for the garden, who sent the super apple in for the supplies for the garden. You know what? I can probably, let me see if I can get the wood today. Because I need to get the wood and I need to get the soil and I need to get wheel casters to put on the bottom. But anyway, listen, I will see you all in the next video. I'm going to get out of here because I want to, now I got to eat because now it's late in the morning. All right, Tonya TKO, and I am out. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. Peace.